I knew something was wrong the moment I pulled into my driveway. The space beside my front porch looked strangely empty, like a missing tooth you can't stop staring at. At first, I honestly thought I had parked crooked or that my eyes were tired. But when I stepped out of the car and walked closer, my stomach dropped. My property was gone. Completely gone. Not moved, not damaged, removed. For years, a solid wooden bench had sat there, along with 2 large planters I cared for like old friends. I had built that bench myself shortly after retiring, using oak boards a buddy gave me from his workshop. I spent countless mornings there with a cup of coffee, waving at neighbors, watching the sun come up. And now there was nothing but bare concrete and disturbed dirt. My first thought was theft. Maybe someone had stolen it. But who steals a heavy bench in broad daylight? Then the truth settled in, slow and heavy. The HOA. They had complained before. Little notices about unauthorized exterior items and visual consistency. I never imagined they would actually take something that belonged to me. I walked inside, still stunned, and found an envelope waiting on the kitchen counter. HOA letterhead. My hands shook when I opened it. The letter was short and clinical. It stated that certain non-compliant items had been removed from my property to maintain community standards. No warning, no deadline, no request, just a quiet admission that they had taken my belongings while I was gone. I sat down at the table and stared at the paper for a long time. I wasn't angry yet. I was hurt. I had lived in this neighborhood for over 20 years. I paid my dues on time. I followed the rules. And this was how I was treated. I called the HOA office immediately. After being passed around, a woman finally confirmed that the board had authorized the removal. When I asked where my property was, she said it had been disposed of. That word hit harder than anything else. Disposed of. As if something I built with my own hands meant nothing. That night, anger finally arrived. I pulled out every HOA document I owned and started reading. Slowly, carefully, line by line. What I found surprised me. The HOA could issue notices. They could fine. They could demand removal. But nowhere did it say they could physically enter my property and take personal belongings without permission or a court order. The next morning, I started documenting everything. I took photos of the empty space. I gathered old pictures showing the bench and planters. I saved every letter the HOA had ever sent me. I wrote down names, dates, times. This wasn't about decoration anymore. This was about boundaries. The real conflict came at the board meeting. I walked in with a thick folder and a calm voice. The HOA president explained that the items were unsightly and claimed they had acted in the community's best interest. I asked her politely to show me where that authority existed in the bylaws. She couldn't. I explained that removing personal property without notice isn't enforcement. It's trespass. I reminded them that I had not been given a chance to respond, appeal, or comply. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult anyone. I simply stated facts. That was my comeback. Calm, prepared, undeniable. One board member shifted uncomfortably. Another asked the HOA attorney for clarification. The attorney cleared his throat and admitted the board had overstepped. There was no provision allowing removal without homeowner consent. The room went silent. A week later, a new letter arrived. This one was different. The HOA acknowledged the action was improper. They offered compensation for the lost property and promised new enforcement procedures. It wasn't a heartfelt apology, but it was accountability. The payoff didn't stop there. Neighbors began stopping by, thanking me. Some admitted they'd been afraid to personalize their homes. Others said they worried the HOA could take something of theirs next. A month later, the HOA announced revised rules requiring written notice and hearings before any action. I built a new bench not long after. It wasn't the same, but it was mine. As I sat there one evening, watching the sunset, I felt something better than victory. I felt peace. Because I didn't back down. If you live in an HOA community, remember this. Rules do not erase your rights. Read the bylaws. Document everything. Don't assume silence means you're wrong. If this story resonated with you, please like this video. It helps other homeowners find these stories. Subscribe if you want more real HOA conflicts with satisfying endings. And tell me, where are you watching from today? What state or town? Have you ever had an HOA cross a line like this? Share your story in the comments.